Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum.
And welcome back to Beyond the Hijab podcast.
Okay, there we go. I don't know why that's always rough. Okay, anyways.
Because it's cheesy.
Because it is cheesy, yeah. People will probably look at our setup. You guys were working on it. So if you guys are like, why do you guys have different places every time? It's because we can't figure it out. I literally brought out like picnic chairs.
These aren't considered
foldable chairs or whatever.
Like
I use them for picnics.
Foldable.
Yeah, we use the correct terms for stuff. So you already know that.
You always, and your followers already know this. You always butcher sayings.
Always.
You have a 5 a.m. shadow.
You know, today when I was driving, I was thinking about this. I was like thinking about a dream that I had when I was young. And I never thought that I would be able to, like, you know, have this dream come true. But then in my mind, I'll tell you what the dream was. So when I was younger, I want to say like after my teens. So maybe like, in my 20s, my early 20s, I always felt like my biggest dream was to make a change in the world. And
me too.
Right? Yeah?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And then, subhanAllah, I remember I had a lot of friends that like were always kind of like in need or, you know, like a shoulder to cry on, you know, kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. And then one of them, like, she came and told me, she's like, you know, you helped me out so much. And then I realized, I was like, you know, sometimes you can make a huge change in the world, but sometimes you could start out small. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, alhamdulillah, you know, like that's my new goal during that time. I was like, okay, I'm going to try to make small changes every single time, like around, you know, like it doesn't have to be something big. And then alhamdulillah, now I realize because like I have a platform, you can kind of slowly, you know, make huge change. And I just thought about that. I was like, subhanallah, you know.
But I want to ask you a question though.
Yeah.
Do you feel like ever since you started content creating and making videos and stuff, do you feel like you've fulfilled that? Because for me, when I was younger, it almost used to feel like this big feeling and I didn't know what to do with it. A lot of times I'd be at like 2 a.m. and I'm like a 14-year-old. I'm like, what do I want to do right now? I'm like, I don't know. I'll think
like fulfilling a dream?
No, but just because, okay, for me, it was this heavy feeling that I felt like I want to do something. I don't know what I want to do though. So then I used to write like blogs. I used to do like write blogs and short stories. And so I always used to like putting things out there to the public. But I never really like stuck with one thing, you know?
Oh my God, that's me. I used to always be like, I know I have this purpose, this thing that I'm supposed to do, but I can't put my finger on it. Yeah, but I didn't do what you did. Like you actually put something out into the world. I did.
But do you feel like you're fulfilling that feeling that you had?
Yeah, I do actually.
Because I do.
Yeah?
I do.
Oh,
yeah, I do.
Alhamdulillah.
And
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and it's been such a long time that I look back at it and I don't know, I think about it often. But at the same time, I'm wondering if we sound like, oh, I'm so special, like I was born to be something big. Yeah. Whereas like, I wonder is this just a feeling that everyone gets? Like they want to do something?
I don't know. Well,
I don't know.
Like for me, I think the reason why I had that like mindset or that dream when I was young is because I used to see oppression like for our people, like what's going on with them. And my dream was always like, I want to help them, you know? So like, I want to make a change in that way, you know? Or like help people that are oppressed. So that's the kind of change that I wanted to make. But yeah, no, definitely. I don't think that we have that mindset like, oh, I'm someone special, but I have this opportunity to use it for good. You know what I mean?
I just want to do something.
Yeah.
For me, it was just, I want to do something. I just don't know what it is.
Well, I had that too.
Yeah, I just felt like I was always in search of something, but I just didn't know. And then sometimes, especially when you're a young girl, I just felt like I was just bound by the walls of my room. Yeah. I'm like, but what can I do?
Yeah.
Sitting in this room full of like boy band pictures. I'm like, but what do I want to do with my life?
Yeah, that's so interesting how you bring that up because I didn't think about that. But yeah, now that I feel it, because I do content creating, because I grew so much from it, but also I feel like, this is what I'm meant to do.
You mean grow like mentally?
Oh,
spiritually.
Mentally, spiritually.
Not like follower-wise.
Oh, no, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
It's funny because like sometimes people will tell me like, you're famous. And I was like, no, I'm not. Like, that stuff doesn't get to my mind. You know what I mean?
Same.
But I think the way, like my manners and like, spiritually and alhamdulillah, definitely matured a lot in so many different ways.
Yeah. You know, the really interesting thing about content creation is I feel like when I first started, I was so sucked up by like trends and, you know, what hijabis, like the big content creator hijabis were wearing. Yeah. So I felt like when I first started, I had to be like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
Me
then,
too.
and I feel like sometimes I would even compromise with my own values and morals.
Yeah.
But then I would feel guilt about it. And then I'd be like, yeah, but this is how I have to grow. But then like over time, I'm like, no, you know what? I really, really, if I'm going to do this, I just really want to be myself. Yeah. And I did end up privating like a lot of those videos that I didn't feel comfortable with and that I felt like was not me and did not align with my morals and values. Yeah. Like as a Muslim. And I think that's one of the most important things that I want to hold on to. Yeah. You know, because I think there's some people who do get into this wanting fame, wanting like, they love analytics, you know, like, but they finding worth in analytics. Yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong.
We
it's
do
hard.
too sometimes. Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard not to get sucked up by numbers because sometimes it feels like you're putting your art form out there. Yeah. And when the numbers are low, it feels like people are rejecting your art form. Yeah. That it took you an hour of your time to edit.
Yeah. I feel like
that's just editing.
Yeah. I feel like that sometimes because I'm like, okay, are people getting annoyed of me? Are they getting bored of me? I guess that's how I start thinking about it. I'm like, why are my views low? But I think it's staying true to yourself. And like, those people that are looking for fame, you can kind of see that they you know, they distance themselves. They become who they originally wanted to be once they grew. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I even have a hard time, honestly, calling people like my followers.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, that's such a weird thing to say.
Yeah. So sometimes I refer to them as like my friends. So that's why sometimes in my videos, like with voiceover, I would say, okay, my friends, like, let's do this.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Yeah. No, for me, I always like, in my mind, I always like say sisters. Like, these are my sisters. You know,
cute.
like my little sisters, because I do, you know, a lot of them like message me. Yesterday, this girl messaged me. She's like, I know I'm a nobody. And I was like, no, you're not. I'm like, not to me. You're like my sister. I'm like, whatever, message me, whatever you want. So yeah, no, alhamdulillah, we don't have, alhamdulillah. Inshallah, may like Allah keep us on with that mentality and not let it, not let it get to our heads. But yeah, definitely, like, we don't look at people that way. Because it's like, I feel like with followers, like, what does it really mean? Nothing.
Because, okay, I even used to say, I remember, like, I already told you this. I was one time at Mass Ikna, and there were these influencer girls, and they were standing there in the middle of the way, and I just remember, you could tell from the way that they were looking, they had the biggest egos. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I wasn't doing content creation at the time, but I remember standing there. I was like, I know who they are, but I will not give them that satisfaction of letting them know, because you could tell they were literally waiting for people to walk up to them and oh gosh,
do you think that we think that it's cringy because we're older and they don't realize like what they look like when they're doing that? Or are they older? Are they younger?
They were younger.
Yeah, so I think a lot of times like these younger kids, they do let their ego like get to them, you know? But I feel like because we're older, like the things that we used to see as cool, we're like, it's so lame, you know what I mean?
That's true. It's like when we talk about sometimes when we try to do like trends.
Oh yeah,
we'll message each other and be like, God, I feel so cringy. Yeah, I'm too old for this.
No, you know, remember that one time I messaged you and I was like, am I getting old? Do I not understand these trends? Because I like 6'7". What the heck is 6'7"?
I don't know.
And the problem is they irritate me. Like it pisses me off. And I'm like, Shulaha, like somebody explain to me. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting old and I'm okay with that. Alhamdulillah.
But yeah, I mean, I think alhamdulillah, both of us, and maybe that's why we connect so much.
Alhamdulillah.
Is I do feel like we have good intentions coming into this.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
And then even when sometimes we are like swiped up by analytics and numbers,
we remind ourselves.
We remind
each other.
Yeah, we remind each other. You know, and we also see like even something as views as, I mean, you taught me this, like as rizqa.
Yeah.
And because we get pennies off of you.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to think of it that way.
Especially because like sometimes we see, because we're Muslims and we're Muslim women, we know a lot of people just like scroll once they see the hijab. And then you see like, and I hate to say stupid content, but you see like useless content, let's just say that.
Yeah.
And then they're like, Eurocentric, features, and man, they get like so many views and like so many followers, and I'm like, what are we missing here? But then that's when like thinking about like this is our rizqah, and this is like rizqah, so I have to accept what Allah has written for them, and I have to accept what Allah has written for us. And I think that's the only way that keeps things balanced. And I think too, sometimes like I'll put a video out there and I'm like so passionate about the video, and I know you are like this too, and then I think sometimes I'm like, God, I hope this does good, and then when it doesn't, because I want it to reach people, because I want it to benefit people, but then when it doesn't, then I'm like, you know what, if it helped one person, alhamdulillah. Like then it still makes a difference. I think it's good that we have this, because I know a lot of moms, they struggle with having something outside of motherhood, and so I think content creating for me was like an outlet, and I know it was for you too, so alhamdulillah for that.
I truly don't think I would have been able to be a stay-at-home mom without content creation.
I agree.
I don't think so, because I am a person who is very driven by goals and deadlines. If I don't have that, I tend to get lazy and start procrastinating more, and then that's just a doorway for depression to come through for me. So I feel like it keeps giving me goals and just something to work towards.
For me, I fall into depression. Like I feel like if I am not being productive during the day, I don't know why I'm wired like this, but maybe because I used to also have like a routine of like working since I was super young. So I feel like I don't want to say I'm career driven, but like I thrive when I'm at work and I'm learning. Like every time I go to a job, I'm always like, just teach me everything. Like I want to know everything, because it makes, I don't know, it's like feeding my soul in a way,
I feel like it depends what the job is.
Like for me, like I was learning accounting, and the person that was teaching me, God, he's so good at teaching. And I don't know if me and him, we both had like ADHD, but like he's like bam, 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 and that's like how my brain is, like all these numbers and things. And it was funny because he used to always be like, yeah, she's the only one I could teach, because the rest of them I have to repeat it 100 times. So like I used to thrive on that, like quick, and like you just like all this information, and like it was a system that worked, because my brain is also mathematical. So, and by the way, no offense to anybody that has ADHD. Oh, I know you're not
mathematical.
I know I am.
I'm more like a visual.
No, you're also, I feel like when you read a thing that has like a lot of words, you understand it. For me, I don't.
So it depends. It's funny. I do best reading and walking, like on the treadmill. Because a lot of times, like if I'm just sitting there, sometimes I have this weird thing where I tend to have like anxiety, especially when it comes to like testing or if it's for school. Then anxiety starts creeping in, where it's like, are you understanding this? Do you know what you're reading? And then my mind, like,
sorry to cut you off, but I was gonna say, I feel like you're smart with the information. Like the way sometimes you explain things, I was like, wow, like how did she retain this information? MashaAllah, tabarak rahman. But I like that about you.
It depends what it is. Like psychology, I love. If I'm passionate about it, I can attain it. If I'm not, it'll go like in one ear and out the other.
Yeah, that's me. I remember, the funniest thing, I remember when I was starting a new job at the school district, and so my manager, she's like, okay, read this and tell me when you're done. I'm like, okay, so I read, right? It's like 4 paragraphs maybe, and then she's like, okay, you have any questions? And I'm like, why would I have, no, why would I have, I don't understand, like, where should I get questions from? So then anyways, she lets me read the other part. And then she's like, okay, do you have any questions? And I'm like reading, nothing is sticking in my brain. Okay, I was pregnant. Okay, so when I tell you pregnancy brain for me was
it's real.
Wow, oh my God. And so then she's like, do you have any questions? I was like, no. I was like, maybe when we start doing this, because I'm more of a amali person. Amali is like hands-on.
By hand.
Yes,
hands-on.
So she's like, I said, when I start doing it, then maybe I'll have questions. I'll probably have questions. That's what I told her, not maybe. She's like, yeah, because that would be weird if you didn't have any questions. Like she was worried about why I didn't have questions. But I'm like, how am I supposed to have questions if I don't see the system and how it's, how it works? That's why, like, for me, my brain is like so wired, like math. Wired. I made a video not too long ago, like for anybody that's overwhelmed when it comes to being a mom and prayer. I always say, like, at least do the fards. And then when you feel like you're able to do the rest, then and make sure you don't miss any of the prayers. And if you do, then make sure to make it up. I feel like people forget to make it up.
But it's so much easier to pray it on time versus make it up. Because I know, alhamdulillah, I haven't done this in years, but I remember if I would miss, say, like prayer, and then by the night you have like 3 that you didn't pray.
Yeah.
You don't want to stand there and pray 3 prayers. You know, like let's just be honest. So it's so much easier doing little, like praying one at a time.
Yeah.
And then, it's just so much easier because it's few minutes. It takes a few minutes every few hours versus standing there for like 20 minutes.
That's true. Yeah.
You know?
That's true. And I think something about that comes from Rabbna. Like, almost like, because if it was easy, then a lot of people would be missing their prayers. But I think it almost like helps us stay on time, stay with the routine.
Yeah.
There was a video that I saw about a girl who was talking about prayer. She's like, I treat prayer like the way I would when I meet up with a friend. Let's say we meet up at 10. Wouldn't it be rude if I told her, like, I'll meet you at 10 and then I show up at 10:30? So she's like, that's how I treat my prayer. I make sure to come there on time. And as a mom, that's not always easy.
Yeah.
But I think we could try. You know what I mean? Being 10 minutes late is better than being 2 hours late, you know? Or 30 minutes.
I will say, because I don't feel like I want to lie about my salah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm late too. Like, sometimes. I'm not saying, but it is a good tip.
Yeah, it is a good tip. For me, man, my thing is always praying like later than when it first advent. That's one of my flaws when it comes to salah. Yeah. Also, after having kids, my sunnah went out the window. Yeah. And I even remember, I swear to you, a few days ago, I was trying to pray the sunnah from Salat al-Maghrib. Yeah. And I was like, I had the intention. I was like, I'm going to pray sunnah. I stand up, I'm about to say Allahu Akbar, and then I hear, Hamza, hit me! Oh. And then my voice starts screaming, and then I see Lebna all over the couch. Yeah. I ripped off the salah clothes. And I'm like, sorry.
I know, but you know, the thing is, actually, that you reminded me of a story that happened with me with Asya too. Sorry, my brain like kind of went somewhere else while you were talking, because it gave me a flashback with Asya. Same thing, you know. But what was I gonna say to you? You get hasanat because you had the intentions.
I do know that.
It's so important to make those intentions, because even if you weren't able to do it, you get the hasanat. Like, you know how many times on Jum'ah I'm like, okay, I'm going to recite Surah Al-Kahf, because to me it's important, you know?
Same.
And then somehow, some way, especially I think it's winter, because like 4 p.m. it's already Maghrib. Yeah. Technically speaking, they say like you're supposed to read it like during Dhuhr time or like Fajr time or whatever, before Maghrib. So then Maghrib comes and I was like, oh my God, I missed it. And sometimes I don't remember until the next day. And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to recite it, you know?
Yeah, my tablet, so my Adhan tablet, it has like a little red mark every Friday. And it says, read Surah Al-Kahf. Yeah. So sometimes, like by the night, I see it, and Aisha is adhaning. Adhaning. So Aisha adhan, right? And then I see that little red mark while I'm starting to close up the house and getting ready for bed. Yeah. I feel so bad. Yeah. Because I just see that little red mark just waiting there. I'm like, oh my God, I did not read. And the entire day, I'm like, okay, I'm going to read Surah Al-Kahf after this. Yeah. And then I get busy with something. And then I'm going to read Surah Al-Kahf after this. Yes. And then I get busy. And then by the time I even know it, it's like 10 p.m. Yeah. You know, I'm turning off the lights, getting ready to go to bed. And then I feel so guilty and I don't do it. Yeah. Whereas before kids, every single Friday, it was part of my routine.
Me too.
To wake up, and I always remember I used to do exactly this. Okay, so I used to get ready, like do my skincare and stuff, and then I would get a bowl of anab, make hot coffee, sit down on Friday, and I would read Surah Al-Kahf.
Hot coffee and anab? Yeah. Oh my God, the acidity. My stomach would be like, what are you doing to me?
I was 18.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. It's a different story. Yeah, different. I was the same exact way too. I was like every single Friday, and then I did something that was wrong though. I used to like gaslight myself into thinking that if I don't, bad luck will come, and that's not good. Okay, yeah, no. So alhamdulillah, I don't know why I became like that. Oh, it's because like, let's say I missed it once, And then I got into a car accident. I missed it once. I got in a fight with a friend, you know? And I was like, finally, alhamdulillah, I saw a lecture. And that's when I found out about like bad omens and stuff. Because I didn't really know. And I was like, oh, okay, alhamdulillah. So he's like, if you do think kind of like this, try to skip it just a few times. He's like, not reciting Surah Al-Kahf, but he's like a sunnah, just so you don't become obsessed with it. You know what I mean?
So that idea is fueled by anxiety.
Yeah.
So because
which makes sense, because during that time I was going through a lot of like uncertainty and like there was no stability, and I was like new here, so it was a lot of things that was going on.
Yeah, for sure. So that idea is definitely fueled by anxiety, because I already told you, like so I made a video about it on my own page, but I was diagnosed with OCD maybe, I'm trying to think, I got it, I want to say like 11 years ago. And OCD is not this need for perfection or wanting like
or obsessive cleaning.
Or like if you like it, it's not OCD. I mean, we can't technically go into the route of it could be OCPD, but that's not what we're talking about.
You're like, let's not get too complicated here.
I'm not about to give you like the psychology breakdown of OCD. But basically, so OCD, just a really quick, simple breakdown, is just like an obsession. It's and typically you have like a certain theme that it's based around. Most of the time it's not cleaning. It has nothing to do with cleaning. So and you have intrusive thoughts basically, and it's like a cycle from the moment that you wake up to the moment that you go to sleep. And this cycle typically goes, you have an intrusive thought, okay, and then you are so you have an intrusive thought, and then you get this level of fear and anxiety and panic. So to combat those feelings, and because you're so scared and disturbed of those initial intrusive thoughts, so then you do what is known as a compulsion. So basically it's like a safety behavior. You know?
That's so, God, that makes so much sense. For me, like Surah Al-Kahf was my only light.
That was your safety behavior.
That was my exactly. And I feel like being close to Allah, that was like my light. You know what I mean? Alhamdulillah.
But the problem is that safety behavior, that is a normal action for people. With someone with OCD, your brain is basically not wired correctly per se. So then that safety behavior and that cycle of getting like an intrusive thought, anxiety, safety behavior is almost like broken. You know? And then it doesn't know how to move away from it. So then you keep on reliving that cycle from the moment that you wake up to the moment that you go to sleep. You know? So then you keep on doing these compulsions, and then basically like a lot of OCD specialists will tell you to starve the monster, which is basically like starving that cycle. You have to break the cycle. So you have to stop doing compulsions, you know? So then at one point, like I did have, this is not like the official diagnosable thing, so it's just like the theme, but religious OCD. That's basically like if you get obsessed with something that has to do with religion, so whether it be like salah
or wudu.
Wudu is the big one. Wudu is the big one. Like some people will tell you it takes me like 2 hours to do wudu.
Yes, you know what a sheikh once told me? He said, he's like, do you ever do wudu and then you think, oh, I forgot to do this? And I was like, yes. And he's like, if you get that thought, don't listen to it. Walk away. You did your wudu perfectly.
Just
walk
keep
away.
going.
But I didn't know why he said that. But he, from what I had understood, because at that point, I don't want to get into crazy stuff, but during that point, it's like when something really traumatic happens in your life, sometimes it can like hit your iman, and it can go really low because you get like super into depression, something like that, okay? And your qareen is always here, okay? You're always right here, or your iman is always right here. And then all of a sudden something made you go down, and this is where your qareen is at. And it can possess you, basically. Or like it can yuwaswis, but make you think constantly like,
Can you explain like what a qareen is to people who don't know?
Oh, yeah, a qareen is...
Because I didn't even know until you told me.
Yeah, your qareen is like the devil self that's born with you.
That's been assigned to you.
That's been assigned to you, yeah. So like the minute that you are born, this is why we do the adhan in the ear, because the shaitan he hates us so much. The minute that he hears, I think, the baby cry or like even take a breath, he blows something and then your qareen is with you.
Yeah.
So that's basically what it is. It knows you better than everybody else other than Allah. Yeah. Allah is number one, and then it knows you because it's always following you, it's always with you. Yeah. And that when your iman falls so low, your qareen could start making you believe certain things that are not actually true. Okay, like, oh, you missed you missed doing your nose or your arms, or whatever.
It hits you where it hurts.
Yeah.
It knows like exactly what to whisper in your ear to pull you down. Like if I'm gonna start getting intrusive thoughts about I don't know, like your car should be pink, I'm gonna be like, no, it's not. Whatever, bye. You know, like that's not gonna bother me.
Yeah.
But it is gonna start telling me, you know, the things it knows where to hit me where it hurts.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not a good mom, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't do this. Maybe you don't spend enough time with your kids. Maybe your kids are going to be traumatized because you yelled at them or whatever it is, you know? Maybe something bad is going to happen.
You know what's a common one? I think everybody hates me. I think everybody doesn't like me. I think everybody can't stand me. Yeah. That's a very common one I hear. I mean, I've felt it so many times, but it's very common. Yeah.
I do feel like as I got older, it started going away because I'm like, I don't care.
I agree.
Because you have your husband and kids. You're like,
this is enough.
Those are the best friends that I need. Yeah, everything out is extra.
But these are my homies.
Yeah. Till I die, inshallah.
You know, yesterday how I was telling you one fear that I used to have before. I think because, before I got married, it was my husband. How I used to literally wake up in the middle of the night because my husband's line of work is not exactly like a safe thing, you know. I don't want to talk about what he does, but, you know, it's not exactly safe. So I would always like think, oh my God, is he going to die? And I would wake up in the middle of the night. I remember like a lot, 2:30 a.m. I'd start crying. I'd be like, are you okay? And Haram, I think he knew that I was very anxious. So he'd be like, hey, I'm like in this area, there's no service. And I'd be like, oh, okay. So like, he's okay. And I used to like make dua and I used to cry. I'm like, Ya Allah, he is the best thing that's happened to me. And he's like, the thing that I like, the person that I wanted like my entire life, and not just him, also what he offers, like the stability and safety and kindness and calmness and just like like something that I've been looking for basically. And I'm like, Ya Allah, just please let us get married. Ya Allah, please let us like be khair, you know. And it's funny, after we got married, alhamdulillah, I was sitting one day and I'm like, oh my God, I have my husband and I have a house and I have a car and I have my job and I have my family. Everyone is okay. Okay, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
And I was like, it's coming. What is it?
Something is coming and I have to be mentally prepared.
Yes.
But then what you're doing by doing that is you're living in this like miserable state.
Yes.
You know, because
I wouldn't say it was miserable, but it was scary. Like,
but you're
anxious.
Not present.
Yes.
You're not present and you're not enjoying those things.
Yes.
You know?
Definitely. But then you know what I realized when I was sitting in that, I remember I was sitting in my sunroom. I was like, this is how normal people live. It's okay for me to have a calm, good life. It doesn't mean that like Allah has forgotten about me. You know, that's the funniest thing, because like I was so used to like going through like tribulations, and I that's when I felt always closest to Rabbna. And I was like, okay, Allah favors me because I'm going through this. You know what I mean? Because you know, like if Allah loves you, He will test you. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? That like I'm not being tested. You know what I mean? I just think, subhanallah, like now I could think about this and it cracks me up. You know, but it's
it's a test. It's a test too. Right?
Yes.
Like we're being tested within the good and the bad.
Yes. And you know what's so funny? I feel like being tested in the good is somehow harder, because when you're tested in the hard times, oh my God, the way you latch on to Allah. Yeah. And then in the good times, like you appreciate your blessings, but sometimes because you're so comfortable, you think about, oh, but I kind of want that house. Yeah. Oh, I kind of want that. You know,
you're always looking for better.
Yes. Yeah. And somehow it's because like you're not it's not saying like I'm not in need of Allah, but right now I'm not latching onto Allah because Allah has already given me.
Yeah.
So I think that for me is so hard. You know what? Oh my God. I listened to this lecture by Numan Ali Khan. I love the way he breaks down the Quran. But he was saying in Surah Al-Fajr, and it talks about how Allah honored them and blessed them with like people respect them and they have like what is it called, a good position, and they have like money and they have like all these things, and how in the Quran in Surah Al-Fajr it says about how that's the harder test.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, it is, but it's like we don't see that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So my husband, he works in politics. You see that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there are people that I meet right off the bat. I'm like, no, I don't like them. You can tell politicians when you meet them that there's power and ego.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just really hard because then sometimes you feel like the fight that they're fighting is more so for them to stay in that position.
Yeah.
Rather than
for that power.
Yeah. Rather than trying to help people.
Like Mamdani, I love that.
I do like him.
I am his biggest fan. When he was like, my name is, because I didn't know where that little song came from. And then I was like, oh my God, mashallah. And then he was standing right next to Trump and he's like saying, he didn't back down. He didn't be like, oh no,
Did you see Trump smile?
Oh my God.
Was so happy.
He has a whole crush on this guy.
I've never seen him smile like that.
Yeah, I know. You know what? Honestly, if Trump wasn't such a racist, I think he would get along so much with Arab.
What?
I really think so because, okay, just
he's a Habib.
I know he's a Habib, but there's things that he says sometimes. I'm like, where do you get the audacity? But then there's also a lot of Arab, and I'm like, where do you get this, like, not audacity in a way that's rude? Where do you get the backbone almost of saying that? But the problem is, his purpose is not in the, like, his morals are not in the right place, okay? Yeah. If he could learn some things from Arab, he could be a good Arabic guy, but he's just too far with the wrong. You know, I
just dislike him so much. I would never even.
No, because really, like, sometimes, like, I used to hear, like, Arab, like, say things, and I'm like, oh my God, did you really say that out loud? But it's truth. Like, they would say things about, like, that's truth. You know what I mean? Like, now I listen to Mamdani, and he says things, I was like, wow, where does he get the courage to, alhamdulillah, you know, like, comes from Islam, yes.
I mean, inshallah, it stays. Inshallah, he stays like that.
Because
there are politicians like, and that I've seen like in my husband's line of work.
Yeah.
Where they start off with good intention. Yeah. You know, and then
I don't see that in him.
I don't either. I do really like him.
I see the authenticity in him so much that I'm like, I don't think that he will, but I'm scared for him because he has that, and I know they see that.
Oh yeah,
I'm scared for his life. Like I don't know how it is for his wife. You know, it is scary. Thanksgiving Thursday, I forget. I'm like, I'm not even in this world right now. I go to the grocery store and I was like, oh, I think Thanksgiving is
why is it so full?
And I'm like, why are there turkeys everywhere? And like, why is the brown sugar right next to the sweet potato? And I was like, oh, okay.
Listen, I love Thanksgiving. Okay, I'm not gonna lie.
You know what? I like all the holiday. Right? No, I don't.
I don't do anything.
No, I mean, we used to do like just because everyone's off, so we just have dinner together, but we don't do like the whole turkey and stuff, you know?
No, we do.
Yeah? Oh, no, we don't.
I mean, it's not tied to anything religious.
It's not. It's just
I think it's
cultural.
Okay. Like, what's wrong with having it? I mean, every day we should be saying Alhamdulillah, right?
Alhamdulillah, yeah, of course.
But
it's not like we're like saying extra Alhamdulillah on that day.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. The only difference is you're eating
turkey,
lots of food.
Yeah.
And saying Alhamdulillah with lots of people next to you.
Yeah. No, you know, one time we did kharoof mahshi. What does she usually do it with?
Like typical mashed potatoes, mac and cheese.
Oh God! I've been craving mac and cheese. Can I come over? I'm just inviting myself. They don't know that, like, on the other side, you guys, we have a bunch of cars, and they're like parking, and then they just kind of look. It's a parking lot.
We're facing a parking lot.
Yeah, and they're just like looking at us, and we're just, that's why we keep smiling at each other. But yeah, I keep seeing videos on TikTok of like mac and cheese. I was like, God, I want to make this. This one did it without a roux. I was like, yes, this is the one I want to try. I don't know, I'll do it one day. I don't know when. Oh, that sounds so delicious. What were we talking about before this? Oh, okay. About holidays. Like, I think we all love the way it looks aesthetically. You know what I mean? Like, I love going into stores.
I love the feeling of it.
Yes. Yeah. Like, I like I like Christmas movies. I like Halloween movies.
Same.
You know, I like Thanksgiving stuff.
Same.
But yeah, like from afar, you know, I appreciate it from afar because it is pretty, you know?
It's very pretty. Yeah. It's warm. It's a good
cozy.
Yeah, it's cozy. It's also like it's a nice idea of people finally being happy.
Yeah.
Around you and like being nice and trying to be giving.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice. But
and then have Black Friday the next day.
Yeah. I'm judging.
I always thought that was ironic. I was like, man, Americans, they have a funny way about things, you know?
Capitalism.
Yeah.
We love stuff.
Oh, yes.
Material stuff. Whether we should be celebrating or not, there's a difference between liking something in your mind versus celebrating. And by celebrating, we mean like decorating your house for it.
Yeah.
You know, like I think whether someone wants to say, I want to decorate my house for winter, for fall, I think that's fine. But what does that mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if you're
it's confusing for kids. I think this is where like our concern comes in. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because the kids, they're going to get to a point when they're teenagers and they're not going to be able to tell the difference between me being a Muslim and a not Muslim, even when they're young.
Because I already told you, like my 5-year-old asked, how come this person celebrates Christmas or this person doesn't, and this person celebrates Halloween, you know, and we don't. He's 5. Yeah. So I'm already starting to get questions like that. Yeah,
but the only reason why I talk about teenagers is because the parent themselves are going to have a hard time separating it because they're like, we've already been doing everything the same. Like I remember somebody telling me, they're like, you know how hard it is that my daughters come to me and tell me that there are Muslims who are celebrating Christmas, for example, and they're like, or Halloween, they're like, how come we're not celebrating it? She's like, it's easy when I tell them it's a non-Muslim, they have a different religion, but what if it's your own Muslims? So it is hard. Yeah, so it is hard. It's easy to teach your kids that like we are Muslimin and we are different and that is okay, you know? Yeah. But like, so this is where it gets sticky. But I know that there's also like a lot of reverts that have a hard time because this is what they grew up with. This is their comfort and this is like what they know. And so I sympathize with them, you know, but I also say to them like, what you give up for Allah, Allah will compensate you with so much better, inshallah. You know what I mean? Like Jannah is always our purpose. Promise. That's a promise. Yeah. We were talking about like, why do bad things happen? Yeah. Right? Like a lot of people ask like, why would Allah allow this bad thing to happen? Yeah. And you said, because it's a reminder that it's the dunya that's doing this to you, and this is the dunya, and this is not our purpose. You know what I mean? Or
so like, a lot of people, they ask the question, if God is real, then how can God allow for war, starved children, or you know, like all this harm to happen? And you have to remember, like, it's not. Yes, of course, Allah allows things to happen, but it's not Allah who does this. Yeah, it's the actions. People. Yeah, it's people. It's at the hands of people. Yeah. What did we say? Like greedy.
I want to say like greed, ego, because like the ego comes with power, you know what I mean? I don't know a lot, but you know, it's funny. I remember Umar Sulaiman, he said, because I'm sure gets this question a lot. Yeah. And he said, I wanted to ask Allah like why he allowed this to happen, but then I don't know how he came up with this, if it's from a story or whatever. But the quote was that, but then I was afraid that he would ask me what I did to change it. Or to fix it. Yeah. And I just think that's, you know, it's so true, you know. And also like something we say in Arabic, Allah yumhil wa la yuhmil. Allah watches, but he does not neglect. He sees everything that's happening. And these people who are oppressors and who do things that are wrong and they do injustice to, you know, to people around the world, they are digging themselves deeper and deeper into their own punishment. You know what I mean? Yeah. So sometimes like we look at the people who like Queen Elizabeth, for example, she had how long, right? She lived, and they think that living that long is a blessing, but actually, they're digging themselves deeper and deeper. And sometimes you think like, what a waste! You had like 100 years to live. You never found the truth. You know, like my husband always says that, like, wow, what a waste of life! Like, you never found Islam. What was the benefit of your 100 years if you know what I mean? You didn't do anything.
Yeah, exactly. You're not leaving a legacy behind of anything. Of khair. I mean, this world it's but a test. And I remember like this quote was everywhere when I was younger, where it's like when you're in a classroom and you're taking a test, the teacher just sits back and quietly watches.
Yeah.
You know, while you take a test. Sometimes they'll come up, like if you raise your hand and be like, can you explain this question to me? But they're not going to answer it for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Kind of like push you in like the right direction.
So sometimes it feels like you've been abandoned. Yeah. And you really believe it.
Yeah.
But Allah is watching, and the true khair is in the akhirah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I like that thing that you said to me though too. Like when you're like, it's a reminder that we are in the dunya, you know, we're not like, don't get comfortable, you know, this is just a testing place. And, oh my God, this revert, you know what she said? She went to a lecture. She's like, I found out today that this dunya is just a testing place, and real life isn't even here, it's in the akhirah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God,
I've always thought of it that way.
Yeah, no, I like, and that blew my mind. I was like, subhanallah, like, it's so perfectly said, and it's such a good reminder.
I think that was a lesson that I learned once I was diagnosed.
Yeah.
Because I think before, so my love for Allah, and I hate to say this, but I think my love for Allah was very transactional.
Yeah.
Like, I was always hoping for something, you know. I was always making dua for this world, and I don't think I was making enough dua for al-akhirah.
Yeah.
I would say it, you know, be cool to have Jannah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really me thinking there, like sitting there, and it's like, have you really sat down and thought about Jannah as this tangible place? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I think a lot of people, we think of it as some fairy tale that is in stories, but have you really, really sat down and read the features of it in the Quran and what it kind of looks like?
Yeah.
And just thought of it as this tangible place that you can actually reach.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I want to say, like, before, not really.
Yeah.
Because I was so happy. I was like, okay, I got married, and I just feel like in our culture, and, you know, because Islam does talk a lot about marriage. So I feel like once I finally attained that, and I was going through the honeymoon phase, I'm like, well, what else could I need from life?
Exactly.
You know?
That's where I'm at now. That's why I don't make dua much for the dunya other than like my daughter, my, you know, like my family and stuff.
Yeah.
But more for the akhirah, because I was like khalas, like I've reached all that you can get in this dunya.
Yeah.
And when you actually realize that, you're like, wow, this dunya really doesn't have much to offer.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah. It's like, it's like,
I know it sounds depressing.
This is like the optimal happiness. I was like, oh my God. And then sometimes, you know, there's like this one part in the Quran where it says like, Jannat tajri min tahtiha al-anhar. And I like tell my husband, and I tell everybody, like, what does that mean? Like somebody showed me, like, and this is my dream to see it one day, inshallah. Jannat tajri min tahtiha al-anhar, because I don't think that it's like a, you know how we have like rivers here, but it's like sitting on something. In my mind, I imagine it like floating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always think that's beautiful, but it's true. Yeah, I used to, well, because you're saying like it was transactional. I think a lot of us are like that, but also because in the Quran it mentions like when going back to that lecture about like Surah Al-Fajr, where he says like the man or like the person who has money, like Allah has blessed me with 1, 2, 3, Allah an'amni, like he has blessed me, but then like when Allah takes from him, he says Allah like hasn't given me, so Allah has forsaken me. And he's like, don't have this immature relationship with Allah, because it's not transactional. You know. And I just find that so important. And you know, the parents have to do a lot, and I feel like there's a lot of parents who haven't really taught their kids these foundations, you know what I mean? And it's so important, because like these are such important tools in this life, like for us to survive life. And I just recently I've been thinking a lot about like how parents really need to do better, you know?
I also think it's because some parents don't know it themselves.
Yeah, that's
like
what it is.
They haven't learned those lessons.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
So I remember like when I was living in California, so I was volunteering with the youth club. So basically working with the youth kids and coming up with activities and, you know, like field trips and stuff like that, basically to make the masjid a fun, enjoyable place for the youth, you know? And I remember, so my husband at the time, he was like the head of the youth. And sometimes he would get calls by parents being like, Yusuf, you know, why is my child doing X, Y, and Z? And Yusuf would be like, well, what have you taught him growing up? Like, did you place that foundation, or are you just all of a sudden like expecting so much out of your child?
Yeah.
You know, for them to be this perfect Muslim when you yourself have not been showing that to them either.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, so have you been a living example for them?
Exactly.
A lot of the times these parents are like, oh,
they're too, you know what it is? I think we're too busy in our culture, and this is why I don't make azayim like a huge part of my life, because there's so many parents who were like, I want like the siblings together, not like their siblings. I want the family together, and I want to make azuma here, azuma there, and everyone's like just concerned about like what they look like in front of their family members, and they forget the kids. And then one day you look at your kids and you're like, why doesn't my child listen to me? Nouman Ali Khan, and I'm pretty sure Umar Sulaiman said this, but like Nouman Ali Khan was like, I got a lot of parents coming and telling me like, my son doesn't listen to me, talk to him. And he's like, okay, when you used to pick up your child, did you listen to them when they were young, or did you just brush them off like while you're on the phone with like your sister or your sister-in-law, and like, you know, and then you're like, shush, shush, and then now they're older and you want to talk to them, they don't want to listen to you because you did the same exact thing. And that kind of fires me up just a little bit, because I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes parents have this transactional relationship with their kids too, you know? And I really dislike that. I really dislike that. You know, my friend, this is why I love reverts, because they follow Islam, and then they bring the good American culture with them. Because there's a lot of things about America. I feel like this is why we're able to be better parents too, because we do learn a lot of good things from America, or American. I was in Jordan, and I see like how people parent. I was like, no, alhamdulillah, like we listen, we read them books, we do a lot of quality things with kids. Over there, they kind of just think like, oh, I'm having these children, so then when they grow up, they can like pay for me and like support me, and that's the relationship that they have with their kids.
I see what you're saying.
There's no relationship.
Over there, it's more about what you provide.
Yes.
Like, what are you providing for your kids? That's really it.
And that's it. There's no relationship. There's no friendship. There's no communication. And I remember my friend, she has 5 kids, mashallah, okay? And I remember we went to go pick up her kids from school. And the first 3 got in. They're all boys. And she's like, okay, from the top, go. What happened today at school? And he's like, I took a math test and I got everything, and I blah blah blah. And she's like, okay, next one. And then like they all, I swear to God, like I wanted to cry listening to it, because it's so beautiful. And I thought, oh my God, I don't want to cry.
Don't cry. You have a tissue in your pocket.
Yeah. I think it's beautiful because, you know, kids are so innocent, you know?
Yeah.
And it's so sad when you see kids who are not taking care of their parents, and they grow up and you could see that they're so lost. You know what I mean? And I didn't get that experience the way she's giving it to her, but I was so thankful for her because she's in my life and I got to see it. And I'm like, I'm going to do the exact same thing. And then like all her kids, and then, you know, they have quality time together. They do homework together every single night. Like she's such, mashallah, selfless mom. Like she would be like, oh my God, I'm so sick of this. She's such a gangster, you know, but she's such a good mom, even when she's tired. Yeah, so sometimes I just like, I guess I get emotional because I see my daughter, and then I see like a lot of sisters that like message me and stuff, and you could tell they're so lost, you know. They're like, I want to, like, for instance, like marriage, you know, you grew up your entire life like haram, babe, and then now they want to get married. Not a lot of them have great relationships with their parents, and then like benzanmu, or they're not heard, or the parents are just sitting back and they're not actively looking for, like, for example, a good spouse for them, or
well, especially girls.
Yeah, especially girls,
because a lot of them believe like the men should come to you.
Yes, yeah. And also that they're not like in the community, so they're not looking for, like, for me, it was important for me to find a community, a village for me and my daughter, because I wanted my daughter to not feel alone, because she doesn't have, you know, most of her cousins here, you know. Her other cousins that are here, they're a lot older, so it's like the relationship is going to be a little different, you know. So yeah, you just like think about that, and I just like sometimes you read the messages, you want to start crying, you know. I get agree. A lot of these messages.
I'm sure you get it even more than I do.
Yeah, they're like, man, you're like my big sister, you know. Or sometimes like I'll get messages from somebody and she's like, hey, I really need advice. I'm sorry to annoy you, and I like, like, I don't have a big sister, so like, can you give me this advice? And I know it's more comfortable coming sometimes to a stranger than going to your own parents, but we really need to fix that, you know, make that relationship. Like I told my husband, I was like, one thing I can appreciate, because I always like to see how people parent, you know, because I used to look at successful homes, and I used to look at like how the mom and how the dad are with the kids. And I know one of them, like from my husband's relatives, the way she's with her daughter, she'd be like, they'd be at a wedding, right? And look, there's a guy, and the mom would be like to the girl, he's handsome, right? She's like, yeah, he's handsome. And I'm like, wow, mashallah, you have that relationship. So it's like, I want to do that for, you know, my daughter, but I also want to see other parents do that for their kids, so we don't end up going astray, you know what I mean, because
and you lose your children.
I'm such an emotional person.
It's okay. I am too, but it seems like this just deep in your heart.
Definitely. Now I think we're going to conclude it here, right? And inshallah, we'll see you guys again. I had a good time talking about
that. Was nice. That was really nice.
I hope you guys enjoyed it too.
And let us know if you have any questions or any certain topics that you want us to cover.
Yes, please. Okay. Salam.
Okay. Bye.